Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Hope you're doing well. Going to be hanging out for a couple hours here. Going to be talking Splinterlands, answering questions, maybe checking out the comment section to see what recent commenters have left. Possibly playing some battles. Who knows? We'll see. But thanks for coming to join me today, and I hope you're having an amazing day. It's a beautiful sunny day where I'm at. I went for maybe a 50-minute run before we went live. And then I like to take baths, so I'm like taking this long soak, watching one of my favorite comedians, Michael Jr. He's a funny dude. Anyways, I like almost lost track of time and didn't make it. But I got my coffee, I got my beverages, and I'm ready to go. Gathering, good to see you, buddy. All ready for a great conversation. Me too, pal. Gathering, oh, dude, did we schedule something? I got to check my calendar. I know that we talked about doing a time. I'd love to talk soon about Golem, because I know you've covered it a bit, and I just got my what's it called? You know what, Gathering? If you're free, dude, you should pop on, man. Jim's here too. Nice, buddy, Jim. I'd love you to come on and talk about Golem, because I'm interested in it, man. I got my thing yesterday and I don't know how to gear up. I don't know. I want to have tips from like you guys who've already tried this. Jim, speaking to you too, buddy, about how to get going. Like I want to activate. I want to, even if it means spending a little bit of money. So I'm going to check my Discord quickly and see if I can't queue up a conversation. Go look at this. And gather. No, it's not gathering. It's called, what's gathering is? Gathering's Discord is something else. Gathering, drop your Discord. If you're in. What is it? I know this. That's okay. Send me the message when you have a chance. And yeah, get Jovac. Okay, so I'm going to add you in here. Jovac. Yes, we are. Oh, we're not friends on this one. Okay, I'm going to add friend. Add friend. Not going to work. Won't you work? I don't know your number, but that's okay. Let's see if that works. Nope. This. Okay, go over here into Discord. Bear with me for a minute here, guys. I saw you out there, Osky. Thanks, man. Good to see you. We got to talk too, Osky. You and your buddy Elephantium. Jovac. There he is. Jovac number 1335 plus Jovac number 1. Add friend. Send friend request. Didn't work. Double check the capital. Oh, whatever. I'm not sure why that's not working. Gathering, I can't send you a friend request right now, and I don't want to monkey around too much. Jim, I'm giving you a call, and maybe while we get talking, I'll be able to sort that out. And Gathering probably needs some time anyways. In the meantime, I'm gonna check in with what's going on out there. Deus, Gregory, Oscu, Daniel, good to see you guys. I like that Oscu's already got a question out there. Thanks, buddy. And Liberty Guy, are you going to start a guild for Golem Overlord? Liberty Guy, Jim, perfect timing. Jim's already taken the reins and got the spreading the TNA banner into the Golem Overlord world. Isn't that right, Jim?
Dude, I didn't even make the guild.
No?
No, it was I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Hukepuk.
I call him Huke. Huke. Yeah. I call him Huke, but I don't know if I think he's German or something. So it's probably like some sort of a German word or something.
Some stuff I can't pronounce, yeah. Until I hear it.
Yeah. But that's cool. That's really good. I'm glad to know. And I want to get in on that train.
Okay. Yeah,
So I definitely want to talk about that today, but do you feel as though you have like advice to give, even to like cursory? I know you're just getting started too, but from a cursory level, do you feel like capable of giving me some advice on what sort of angles I need to be, how I can get started quickly, or do you not have that yet?
Yeah, I mean, I see that there's different routes that you're able to take in this game, so I think that's what we can, if you want to go for a more offensive route, I can assist you. If you want to go for a more defensive route, I can assist you there.
And do you have like do you have a feeling of, and I imagine it would be a beginner feeling, but do you have an inkling of like which direction is going to be optimized? That's what I'm kind of hoping. I know it's a brand new game, but I want to right now I just started, so I want to like launch with like a couple $100 and make it, you know what I mean? Like go the maybe an optimized route if that's possible.
Yeah, I completely get it.
I also want to talk to, who were we talking to yesterday who said he's getting like 100 part a day? One of the guys from the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I don't remember who that was.
I think it might have been Dom, but I can't. One of the YouTube members, guys. So if anybody's listening and doesn't know, we're talking about what's this thing called? Golem Answer, or Golem Answer, Golem Answer. And I'm just brand new to it. Like I've been following it for 2 weeks. I've been getting some hive ready, like unpowering my hive so I could get the swap hive necessary to enter the game. I did so yesterday. I haven't done anything yet. I probably, who knows, maybe I was attacked or something in the night, but yeah, I want to put a little coin into this thing. And one of the boys from the YouTube membership, the ones that support the channel, was saying that they're getting about 100 part a day. That's one of the in-game currencies, and part yesterday at least, and I think regularly selling in that like $1-ish range. So I mean,
I think it's at 88 cents right now, 90 cents.
Is it? Yesterday it was around $1, and I hear it's quite like what's that word? Like volatile, isn't it? Like up down, up down.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea. Just from like looking at it on the on tribal decks, it's all just a super flat line.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say.
Same with here. But I have seen like 89 cents right now from $1.03 yesterday is, I would describe as pretty volatile. But at the same time, from what I can understand, you tell me if I'm wrong, but don't you burn the token in a sense when you're upgrading things?
Yeah. Every single time you upgrade, you burn the token. So
that should help.
Whether it's going into reputation to get you leveled up faster, or your power, or any of your other stats, yeah, it's all burned.
That should help. I mean,
also,
go ahead.
If you go back into the game towards the bottom,
okay,
you see like a little bounce off shield by your ready.
Bounce off shield by my ready. So there's a ready button.
Yeah, if you click that, that'll actually give you your 3.7 part that you have access to right now.
So this right here. I see the ready, and then I see the shield. Yeah, and click the shield.
So yeah, it's just
you're watching the stream, right?
Yeah, because you're not sharing screens.
I'll do a share screen so you can see like a live up to date every second. But just I want to get gathering cooking too. So in probably 10-15 minutes, I'm gathering again. If you're listening, send in friend invite to @infidel1258. I think you're only friends with 1258 on Discord, and then I'll link you in. I tried to do it, but I just don't want to monkey around with that screen while we're live. And so you can send me the request, and then I can just add you into the conversation with me and Jim here. So there's like a shield, and there's like a reflecting beam off of the shield. It says you can claim you received 0.1 XP. Cool.
Here I can.
Yeah, I clicked it. So it says now I have to sign a message. I want to claim. Cool, man. I like that it uses. I really like. Okay, so claim successful. 3.7251 part. 100% on their way to your Hive Engine wallet. It may take 30 seconds until it shows up in your wallet.
Yeah, I created the other chat if you want to jump in there.
Awesome. Okay. Friend call. I like that it uses.
Okay, so claim successful 3.725.
Okay. I'm hearing my feed. One of you guys is listening to the YouTube. Turn down the volume on my YouTube, and I'll give you a direct feed to my screen. So here you go. Here's the. Yeah, I can still hear it.
Yeah, he needs to mute the stream.
Just gonna mute you till you, Jovac, gathering. One, yeah, silence my YouTube, and then you've got the live stream now in the Discord there, and I'm sure you're good. He probably didn't hear me at first because there's like a 10-second delay. Cool. All right, guys. Gathering, how you doing, buddy? Okay, give him a minute. Jimbo, tell me more about what like how often can I do this? Every 8 hours I can do that?
So you have a few different options, okay? As you raise your algorithm, you can either shorten how long it takes you for the cooldown,
yes,
or you can actually take longer, but you'll get less rewards or more rewards depending upon it.
So I can lengthen the duration of time that between claims, or I can decrease the duration of time.
Yeah. So you see right in the center where it says normal. If you raise your mouse a little bit.
Yeah.
So to the left and to the right of that.
Okay. So I see like symbols that I don't understand. Choose the length of your next cooldown, but be aware that also changes your claim multiplier. Okay, so the short cooldown is 4 hours long, but reduces your claim by a flat 25%. So you can claim more regularly, but you're going to get a smaller claim, or you can claim, I assume, yeah, I see, like a longer duration, and it increases my claim.
Yep.
Okay, exactly. I can see you guys are talking, but I can't hear you, so I'm just messing with the settings right now.
Okay. Let's see here.
That might just be on his end.
I think it might be your speaker, because I've got my ecocomms working, and Jimbo can hear me. So I'm going to type, Jim can hear me. Check your output. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what do you do? Do you go longer or do you do shorter?
So I haven't gotten there yet. So you see, it says unlock short by reaching algorithm 7 and burning 79 part. So if you want the shorter time frame, you have to get your algorithm up higher. But it also gives you more of the resources, every single second.
Let's see. I want to know. Okay. Glad I got you.
Okay. Longer or do you shorter? Well, I haven't gotten there yet, so
Okay. Muted you to you.
Why do I still hear it? Do you hear it?
I hear you. Do you hear me?
Oh, it's because I didn't mute him. Oopsie. Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay. Hopefully that sorts itself out. I would love it if I could hear Gathering's wisdom on this too, but this is great though. This is a great start. Like I saw this last night and I was like, okay, I saw the claim button, but I was like, I don't know. Like, should I wait? Is there advantages? Like, I guess. Oh, I see here that I can maximally let it store to 3.9, and then I have to claim it, or I start losing. I assume, right?
So this is how it works, right? When you claim it, it gets put into your wallet.
Yes.
But if it's sitting there and someone attacks you, they can actually take it.
Right now, I have 0.019 sitting there, and that could be stolen from me, right?
Yep. Yeah.
But a second ago, I just claimed 3 point whatever. How long is that going to take is it going to take 8 hours for me to reach my maximum, or how does that work?
So if you look in the top right where all your stats are,
okay, top
it
right
actually tells you how much you get hourly and daily.
Okay. So 4%. So 1 day is going to be a full claim, like a full.
So that's for the ancient shard. If you look to the left of there.
Okay.
That is your other resource.
Gotcha.
Parts.
Gotcha. So I'm getting 0.22 per hour, or 5.4 a day. 5.4. So I like somebody probably robbed me in the night because I presume like I turned this on and I got my thing. And is there a record of that? Is there a record of like was I attacked?
Yeah, so in your action log, you can see in the bottom left.
Okay.
And if you scroll up or scroll down, um, but it doesn't look like anyone has even attacked you.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Really cool. Yeah, this sort of game is very familiar to me, but obviously the interface is different.
Yeah. So these are all of your abilities. The ones on the left.
Yep.
That's what you're gonna wanna, really learn.
And what you said algorithm is the one that like allows you to
change your cooldown timer.
okay. And is the changing of the cooldown one of the is that what is the fastest way right now to increase my productivity? Would it be
If you're just looking for passive,
yeah.
you're looking for algorithm and golem charging station.
Mm.
Yeah, so if you read over those, it increases your part scavenge rate baseline, and then the algorithm raises it percentage base.
Mm. Interesting. So it's a combination of like I mean they all factors in helping you. What is obviously reputation? I mean, let's see, your base rate of 0.1 XP per hour. You additionally can burn part to add to reputation, max 1 XP per hour. Okay, 2% of your reputation is converted to XP every hour. 2% of your reputation is converted to XP every hour. So I gain XP through reputation. XP is like the product that lets me level up just through playing, probably.
This is over time, so that timer on the right side of it,
Yeah.
that to where the reputation is at.
To where the
That
yeah, it's
timer?
42 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. So whenever that hits 0, that's when you'll get the experience.
Yeah.
And then your level, once you hit 10, you'll be able to prestige.
Gotcha. So reputation is a meter that's giving me XP, and XP is helping me level up. Leveling up is obviously important, probably gives all kinds of bonuses to algorithm, power, fortification, probably, I assume, or at least it maybe increases part or something that allow me to then upgrade. XP is like 1 meter, and part how you earn part is like another meter within the game. True?
If you hover over your level, it actually gives you a little bit more info.
Okay.
Your level determines your daily shard drop chance. So
Cool. Very cool. I already feel so much more informed about this. That's amazing. I'm gonna check in with the chat. Guys, are you playing this? Like, this to me seems like a legit game. Like I know, and you might say like game with quotations because it's not a first-person shooter. It's not a strategy, or it's not a turn-based RPG or whatever. It's like, there's a lot of thoughtfulness that goes into something like this. And Splinterlands, when it sold packs originally, sold packs with no playable game. These were literally just NFTs that the sort of which that like now I would kind of make fun of. Like Bored Ape Yacht Club to me is if you guys own them, good for you. I know people have made tons of money on them, but to me that is there's no value there because there's no utility. And from that perspective, I see that you might have said the same thing about Splinterlands when it launched, and then it turned into a playable game, and it's grown its lore and it's expanding its kind of reach and how it, what the game even is. And then Splex makes this, I guess. I'm learning from yesterday's conversation with Jim. I didn't know that. And then, this is already a game, and I can see that I could imagine how this could grow, and it already looks cool in my opinion. I'm into it, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I first saw these games, like the Terracore and this, I was like, I don't think I want to do this. Like, it just didn't seem, cool to me at all, and I just really didn't care about it. But then I kind of looked a little bit more into it. I'm like, you know what? Let me give it a shot. Let me find a dollar amount that I'm fine with losing if everything, just goes up in a blaze, and let me just give it a try.
Totally.
And I kind of like it, and being a part of another community or having more things to talk about with people is always nice.
Totally, man. And here's the thing about everything within this space, whether it's this or what's Splinter Forge or eventually GLG or tower defense. I think we already are at a place, at least for me, where I can't do them all. I can't do them all in an optimized way, which I did with Splinterlands 4 years ago or whenever I started now. I played that game every day. I played Splinterlands nearly every day, and I took it as like a true opportunity, but I was also enjoying it. It was entertainment, and I thought it was an opportunity. And I recognized that the assets I was accruing could be something significant in the future. Could be. And maybe they weren't going to be, but they could have been. And I was loving the process anyways. So there was a joy in trying, and then maybe a distant hope that it might. And of course, Splinterlands has turned into something significant, which is amazing. And I think it's going to keep growing. And I love Splinterlands. And this is by no means going to pull me away from Splinterlands. But my point is, it's great if there are more cool things that might appeal to different voices and participants, because I do think already we've reached a place where there's too many things. And that to me speaks of like too many things for one person, but not too many things for a community of people who are into gaming and who are into blockchain, or, new voices that don't yet enter the space, but are maybe going to see something like this and be like, okay, like for, 40 Hive, and I can start earning, like I just claimed 3.7 high or part. I don't know how liquid it is, but I mean, like all I did was, can I sell that right now? What's the volume? The volume, $55,000 worth of volume on part. So I'm saying like
the number one thing for the last 24-hour volume.
So like with that in mind, Jimbo, it's like I put in $20 yesterday, and today I could claim back 4. And and you gotta question, is that sustainable? You gotta question, is there going to be mass adoption for a game like this? There's all kinds of fundamental considerations that one would want to walk through when understanding and assessing the financial consideration of entering into a game that costs a certain amount to start up. But I'm saying it's cool that there's more options, and I'm excited about this one option. I'm also excited about tower events. And of course, we've talked about Land like so much. I'm super pumped about that. Those are different games. Land is not Splinterlands. It's another thing. So that alone is just like, I feel like, I don't know, man. Is this going to, I've talked about how Splinterlands is going to retire me one day. And I think that's true. But I think it's kind of, I'm already fighting not to retire, if you know what I mean. Like it would be conceivable for me to just be like, you know what? My Splinterlands assets are worth about 60 grand US. We sell the house and we just move to some like place in the world where we've got internet connectivity, and cost of living is far less. And so, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy that that's already a reality if you wanted to make it that one. And I'm not saying I do. I love my life here. I'm just saying like, it's really cool that, and I was talking to another guy, Blaze, from Time and Attention. He was on the channel. We did a video. He did this. He like playing NFTs. It was Alien World and something else. And he had some really amazing opportunity turn into substantial gain. And him and his wife, or I think he met his wife where he moved, but he moved to Puerto Rico. And there's like way different, cost of living and taxes. Like crypto based NFT gaming is like a genuine opportunity. Now, huge grain of salt. That doesn't mean every one of these is going to be a win. Golem Answer or whatever it's called is brand new, and you got to come to it with some skepticism. But I'm excited, and I'm going to try and tinker with it. And I'm it's cool to see how many people are too. Like Jim came on yesterday, and you were like, "Hey, yeah, I'm doing it." And then I think it was Dom and Steve's in the chat. He goes, "Yeah, he's telling him about his strategies, so he's playing it." I saw Aftersound covering it. It's like our community really is actually grabbing onto this one.
It is. It's definitely cool to be a part of.
Yeah, it's kind of like feels like a new beginning for something that people are actually excited about, which is cool. Ryan says, "Glad I could catch you live." Glad you could too, buddy. Thanks for coming to hang out. I am continuing to try and do 2 lives a week now that I'm not doing Splinterlands TV. and I'll aim to do one for the public and one for the members only. So my intention is always every week to give a 2-hour live for just my members, and then some of that gets clipped and shared publicly, but not necessarily all of it. And then I also do extra content as often as I'm able, specifically for my members only. So if you ever want more content, that's available. You just got to check out I think it's the community tab or the membership tab on the YouTube channel. And, you know, every I think it's even bronze levels get access to that stuff. So, I always forget. Soul keeps the name of the tower defense, right?
Yeah.
And we're getting really close to that too, aren't we? Like we're weeks away now, aren't we?
Yeah, we're in the second part of the beta. So if you still have like the 500 packs, you're able to mess around with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they added more new stuff as well. So yeah, I'm not there yet again, but you know, we'll get there.
Mm-hmm. Gregory, if you have a chance, I would like to know your thoughts on the card market at the moment. Yeah, that's a great conversation. Maybe let's spend a couple more minutes just talking about Golem, or even just, I see a comment from Ryan asking about Terracore. I've heard this comparison, and Jim, you even mentioned it. Can you speak to that at all? Like, is this like I've heard somebody say this is a copy pretty well. Is that what, do you know much about Terracore?
I looked into it a little bit. I didn't really care about it. I didn't even know who was creating the game or anything behind it. I know some people in the community were playing it, Aftersound, Steve, some other guys as well. And it was just one of those things. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, all right, I don't even really want to touch it. But then people were talking more about Terracore and then the new one from Splex. And I was like, you know what? I think Splex can do some pretty good stuff, and I'd like to see what they do in the future. So yeah, I think they are very similar. And one person said that they felt bad for Terracore because Splex made the exact same game, like, you know, not too much after they did. So yeah,
open source, I guess, right? Open source, blockchain based. It's like, right. It's in some sense, and that's kind of the beauty, and bring it back to Splinterlands for a minute. Beauty and criticism of what Splinterlands is doing, because if you think about it, they've really made, in fact, they've invited, not only have they invited, they're actually doing it themselves, like creating, what was the phrase? They're essentially trying to monetize the game creation for others within the Splinterlands ecosystem. And they had a package called it, like they called it like a development kit or something like that. And that was kind of what their vision, they talked about it back when GLG was first kind of being mentioned and discussed and maybe created. They talked about how, like, if soccer works, then football, then, you know, but it can be so easily, like we talked about, Jim, you know, you could so easily just turn it into, hey, my card art is about dragons, or my card art, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just really at the core, it's a system that tracks ownership of transferable NFTs, and those NFTs have some sort of utility, like they battle, or they, you know, whatever. It's in some sense it's very basic, but there's a thoughtfulness to economy. There's a thoughtfulness to art design that the creator can bring to it and make it their own, even if even if the code, or even if the code is essentially to some extent copy paste. Monsieur Caruso asking about another Hive game. I think he's talking about Terracore. I don't know if Terracore is or is not Hive. Jim, do you know?
Yeah, it's Hive.
And then if you're talking about the one I was showing earlier, Monsieur, it's Golem Answer, and it must be Hive, right? Golem Answer.
Yeah,
it has to be, because swap Hive. You get paid in part, and you can use Hive Engine to sell the part into Hive. And yeah, Steve, good to see you, buddy. I keep getting a lot. I heard from a bud, like I said, 100 part a day. So I don't know how deep he went to do that. Yeah. And you got to be careful with new projects like this. I've been in projects that, you know, they just evaporated, but there is some amount of reputation for Splex GG already within our community, right? They've created a great product. They're doing several things on that site that are, I don't even use it very often. So this is by no means a, what's it called? Like this is not a paid recommendation, but I mean, it's a solid site. And from time to time, I will use it for 1 or 2 or 3 or, several different resources or abilities. And then for them to come out and make a game like this, that gives me more confidence in it. Still, there's some skepticism, but more confidence. Red Ted, if you sell... Oh, what were you going to say, Jim?
Gathering says he can hear you now. Had to restart / update Brave.
Oh, cool. So let's wonder, can you... Let's see. Boom. Mute. Are you there, pal?
Yep. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, we got.
All right. Yeah, for some reason I had to update and restart my Brave browser. Now it seems to be working fine.
Cool. Discord's like that, man. Sometimes you're like, sometimes I have to do that too. What I find, slight Discord side note, with Discord, there's the app and then there's the web, like the browser. And I find that the browser, it's a real mess if you try and have both of them. And I do need both of them because I've got 2 main accounts. I've got 1258 and I've got Infidel 1258. And anyways, yeah. So it's a bit of a nuisance sometimes, but it's one of the main ways to communicate for gaming. So I want to read this comment here and then I want to ask you a few questions too, Gathering. Red Ted said, if you sell all your part, that will reduce the part you produce. You must burn 75% plus claimed part every 24 hours. Okay, interesting. So if I produce like that 3.7 or whatever I made, and I can claim again, and it won't be, I don't think it'll be the same amount in 8 hours, but let's say I could claim 10 a day. And what I'm hearing is if I can claim 10 a day, I better put back 7.5 into it, or the amount of part I'm going to keep creating will go lower and lower. Is that a correct statement, Gathering, and from your perspective and what you've seen within the game?
No, you'll create the same amount, like the amount that you produce every 3 seconds will stay the same. But when you go to claim, your claim will be reduced by a certain percentage. So if you only claim, say, 50% instead of the 75,
yep.
The next time you go to claim, let's say you were going to claim 10, you will only claim 7.5.
Okay.
So the amount I'm capable of claiming, like it's not that my production has changed, but the amount that I'm able to remove is what you're saying.
Yep. Just to the left of your amount that's ticking up that shows your claim, there's a percentage. That's the percentage you will receive on your next claim. Like right now, mine is at 104%. I'm getting a 3% guild bonus and 1% novice bonus. So when I go to claim, it's 104%. Now, if I was under 75% usage, that amount would not be 104%. It may be 80 or 70 or somewhere in there. So you want to make sure that you're looking at this tab and that your percent used is over 75 and you're fine.
Interesting. Okay.
And there was a proposal today. I don't know if you see it on the bottom of the screen. Just left to the white paper, there's a tab and it says poll. There's a new poll he just put up today. Wants to get everyone's opinion whether they should raise that percentage to 80%.
Okay.
Ooh, that's what that is for.
Should we increase that rate to 80%? So we received numerous requests to reconsider the current minimum burn percentage required to avoid penalties. As of now, players must burn. So this is this existing practice and this proposal at its core is intended to control how much is just being fully extracted without any burn. So it's like they want to incentivize, help me make sure I'm getting my head around this properly. Their game is intending to continue to drive burning of the token part, and in so doing, forcing scarcity, which should either drive the price higher or at least hold it relatively stable. Because if we're just extracting and selling, it should go down. But if we're being forced, in some sense forced, to burn, to extract maximally, then that might help it today. And that's the target here. Like we're looking at kind of price stability by way of like an encouraged burn mechanic. Is that what you would say there, Gathering?
Yeah. And the cool thing about it, I don't know if you noticed this, your voting weight is kind of similar to SPS staking in Splinterlands. So whatever you have staked, whatever is in your banked amount, that is basically your voice. It's not how much you've burned. So if you've got someone like Angry Chipmunk or Nobody that have burned tens of
Oh,
thousands of part,
Hmm.
that is not their voice. Their voice is how much they have banked. So I think that's a really cool mechanic.
yeah.
What's the bank you mean? Like put aside in Hive Engine or
Um, just under your faith tab on the left, there's a thing called banked.
okay,
That's how much that you basically set aside for your part,
okay,
and that helps increase how much that you can collect.
gotcha,
So like right now I have 12 and a half banks, so I can collect 14.9 hours worth of claim. So
gotcha.
that's basically your voting weight.
But the bank is, I assume, susceptible to attack and theft.
No,
Okay,
no. And that works just like SPS, where
okay,
if you want to unbank it, basically unstake it, it goes through a 4-week process.
okay.
So you can get that amount back.
Interesting. Very, very cool. I love that you're here. I love that you're both here. And I know for a fact that Jim knows some things and I know you know some things. And this is, like I said, I think this is deeply interesting, like right now, especially because, the newness, but then the creators and all that. So I was eager yesterday. I bought my thing as soon as my Hive was available. I bought my staff or whatever it is that gets you into the game. And then, I looked at all this and I was like, I need to talk to these guys. Like I can't just figure this all out. And I want to throw a couple $100 at this thing, and see what that can do for me. Like Jim said, just take a bite. Like for me, for some people out there, that might sound crazy. $200 might be like, can't afford that. I could never risk that. To me, that's not a problem to me. And so then the question for everyone, if you're hearing me, please don't just copy paste what I'm going to try and do, but I will document all of it and I'll share you my story. But man, I get a little nervous with something brand new, but I'm willing to put 200 on the table and know that it might turn into nothing, or it might turn into something really cool. And so, yeah. Gathering, did you take any like fiat currency or for that, you know what I mean? Like, have you moved any value into this, or have you just made it be what it is out of what it gives you?
Well, I want to give a shout out to another Splinterlands content creator, Bronze Dragon. I think he puts out a lot of great content, and he doesn't get a whole lot of exposure right now. He's got a small channel, only about I think around 200 subs. So
Mm-hmm.
anybody that's interested in Splinterlands, Splinter Forge, I think he does Diablo 4, Diablo 2. Definitely check him out. He's the one that basically notified me about this game. I think it launched either April 7th or 8th, and all I did is I think the staff then was 20 Swap Hive, so I went ahead and purchased that. I haven't put any other funds in the game. I've already more than doubled that just in referrals, just putting my referral link in the channel, and having a ton of fun with it. I mean, for an idle clicker, it is amazingly complex in the different builds that you can do. And Yixon, the creator, is constantly, like almost every day, coming up with a new event or a new update or a new tweak.
Cool.
And you can tell he's extremely strong in his math and coding skills. So
Awesome,
I'm excited
man.
to see where this game goes.
Dude, that like hearing that. First of all, you're right, Bronze Dragon. I watched his videos before I even watched yours, and then but I didn't take it fully seriously because I didn't know him. And then I saw you do your thing, and I was like, oh, okay. And I gave it more weight, and you gave credit back, and you were like, even in those videos, your first videos on it, you were like, Bronze Dragon told me about this, and so I went back and listened to his stuff too again. So yeah, guys, check him out on YouTube. And
Yeah, and it's definitely good to be in a guild. Just being in a guild, if you start a guild, there's not a whole lot of options you could do right now, but just being in a guild gives you a 3% guild bonus for your claim.
Okay, let's this is awesome stuff, and I want to know so much more, but I also want to talk about different topics too, and that's a good half an hour or so on this. I saw a couple great questions come through. I haven't tried to find one yet. Stever, dude, time and attention. Talk to Jimbo. Come over to the dark side. Let's
Come
see.
burn Kelly's.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Ike 12. We have a TNA guild up already. I know. Yeah, and
Dude, maybe,
is that what
maybe
people
that's
call
why
it?
I
They
even
call
like
this
this
Go,
game.
don't they? I've seen that in chat. It's like, yeah.
I was gonna say maybe that's why I like this game so much, because you just burn a bunch of your currency.
Yeah, it's really smart. There's been other successful games over the years where there's been an invitation for you to have to delete your own value in order to essentially create more value. And that is definitely a positive. Like, well, that's what Splinterlands does too, in a sense, right? You need 400 BCX of a common card to make one top tier common card. And so that's the deflationary, that's the thing there's so much in common here. Like, and the time and attention that I talk about, the trivial rewards adding up over a long time horizon, you know, if you have fun with it and you're, you know, just focus on that and recognize that there might be an opportunity, but focus on the fun. All of the things I've said about Splinterlands, and then even the economy, like we just said, the essentially built-in burn mechanics would make I would need to do more research to feel super confident about this, but what little I'm hearing about the part token and how it's created and used, it feels deflationary in nature because of that burn that's encouraged. And I would want to pull that thread a bit further before I felt super confident about that. But that's where there's an excitement growing in me about it, because it feels like that's the case.
I think Matt's taking notes. I don't know if you checked out the leaderboard. If you click on battle, Yabamat got into the game a few days ago, and he must have put some money in it. He's number 6 on the leaderboard. He's burned over 9,000 part. So hopefully he's taking some notes on the tokenomics of Golem Overlord and the burning, and we may, in the next few months, not too distant future, see more burn mechanics in Splinterlands.
Cool. Love it.
I think he's seeing the value in that.
Where's Matt? I'm seeing the top, the leaderboard, but I don't see his name.
Number 6.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah.
Yabamat.
Elite Golem Answer. 9,600 rating.
Look at the claimable stash for Angry Chipmunk.
Where is
remember that each one is basically, 80, 90 cents.
So Angry Chipmunk, and you're saying claimable stash. This yep. Number is impressive. 800. What is this again?
That's the amount of part token. So right now he could claim almost $800 in part token, and if he wanted to, he could cash that out.
And
or he's probably going to not cash out more than 25%, but still, that's just amazing, the amount of money in this game in just 2 weeks.
Wow, dude, so cool, really cool, guys. I hope you're excited about this. This is, again, grain of salt, be skeptical, but like explore things like this and take this seriously, because this is actually interesting, actually exciting, and it's, to me, seems fun. So yeah, but let's circle back. There were some questions that were asked earlier, and happy to take more comments or questions on this too, guys, if the chat wants to. But before we move into, I saw Oscu ask a question. There was also a question about card prices that we could maybe spend some time with. Before we do that, check and see if you have dropped a like, guys. We got 21 concurrent viewers. We got 7 likes. And every time we do this, when we stop and take a like spike request, I find that drives another 10 viewers to pop in, because YouTube's like, hey, 15 likes just popped on. Like, let's remind someone else that this is happening right now. So please, if you're enjoying, this channel, what I do, please, the likes really matter. And yeah, every time, these public lives are great, because we end up, I always see new voices in the chat. Like, I don't recognize a certain name. There's lots of familiar faces, but then there's few I don't, which is great, because that means that new people are hearing about this space and NFT blockchain-based video games that might, be part of our community, or maybe they already are, but then they're becoming part of, this channel and this community too. So that's great. So thank you guys very much.
I just want to say real quick, I see a comment from Tails, and he's exactly right. In something like this, it's meant to be fun. There is some financial opportunity here, but definitely lick your ice cream, take your profits. Don't put in more than you can afford to lose. This game is an alpha. They constantly make changes, and he gives a disclaimer, right on the main site that, hey, at any time, things could change, the tokenomics could change, so please, please be careful.
Yeah, so important. Absolutely. And I love that phrase. You said that last time we hung out too, lick your ice cream. It's so important. You sometimes when something like this pops up, you think to yourself like, oh, Matt, you might have saw what Gathering pointed out, Matt's in there. Well, then that's an endorsement. It must be totally safe and perfectly long lasting. And, I can go ham into this thing and all my worldly treasures into this brand new game. And you start I've been there, man. Like when I was brand new to crypto, I did that in some foolish ways, and I made some really significant mistakes that I still to this day like are like they're like a scar that I look back at sometimes, and I'm like, okay, you know, we got to be. That's why when I speak about this, I said like throughout this conversation probably 4 or 5 times, I'm like, be skeptical, be, you know, don't, you know, that, because that's actually where my heart's at. Even though I'm growing in confidence as I learn about it, and I am gonna take a bite. Again, the number that I'm gonna put into it is gonna be different than the number that you'd be capable of doing it. And you gotta recognize that you don't know anything about them. Like Splinterlands has been here for 4 years, whatever, 5 years, whatever it is, and people still talk like Splinterlands is gonna just disappear tomorrow. So if we don't bring the same criticism and skepticism to this brand new thing, recognizing that there's a lot of hype as those part tokens start flowing in, and you're like, you heard Gathering talk about how much he's making, you know what I mean? There's different voices like showing that leaderboard, like, wow, he's at 800 part, he could take that out right now. That all starts to stir a FOMO, and you got to bring some of that tails, you know, that thoughtfulness, and be like, okay, but like, what, you know, what if it just stopped? What if I go in, what if I push the chips in, and then something happens? I don't know. You can't even imagine what could happen. It's so new. You don't even really know what the risks are. So that's important to say.
I already converted just a little bit of my earnings into some cast packs and Riftwatcher packs. So I'm like, hey, 3 packs, I will take it and have fun with this game, build up my Splinterlands account at the same time.
Love it. Love it. Exactly right. If you could take out 25%, if you could make $10 a day and take out 250 a day based on the part, like putting 75% back in, you know, that would be interesting, because, you know, that's like a Chaos Legion pack a day. And it doesn't sound like it takes too much to get to that place. But
I wonder
again,
if they're going to get a huge influx of players from the Philippines and from some other countries where even $1 or $2 a day is life changing. I mean, it is not hard in this game to make even $1 or $2 a day. So this could really affect a lot of people in a very positive way.
Okay, great stuff, exciting stuff, love it. The ball will stop rolling soon. This is a little bit slice of the criticism, right? Daniel goes, the ball will stop rolling soon as new accounts stop being made. And Gathering, I feel you kind of spoke to that a moment ago, as there's voices and there's participants that where $1 or $2 a day would be really meaningful. So I'm not sure I agree with Daniel, but again, healthy skepticism is a totally good thing. And let's circle back to a different topic. Way at the beginning of the chat, Oscar dropped a comment and he went, Dwayne, you still in need of some Riftwatcher cards. There's a dude selling it at a discount. And then similar conversation, I think it was Ryan 600. Somebody asked us to look at the marketplace and comment on card pricing, because I haven't recently done that. So let's take a peek at what the market's looking like. Have you guys noticed what that's being described there? Like, are there price discounts happening available for Riftwatchers or for anything else?
I mean, I guess I wouldn't be surprised, but I haven't looked into Riftwatcher cards in a little bit.
Gathering, you noticed anything?
It's probably one of the most underappreciated sets that has ever been in Splinterlands. The cards are so powerful, and just so many people are hesitant to buy the packs because they don't want to spend the SPS because of SPS being so low. But I mean, just even the rares in it are just so good. And Queen of Crows, Bosan, Runic Skyclaw, Tinderlock. I mean, these are going to be staples for years to come. So.
All the magic cards with stun.
Yeah, the
extremely powerful set.
The rares in particular are really, I think I've said this before, I think with a different set, these aren't rares. These are epics, or in some cases legendaries. Queen of Crows in particular. I mean, this thing, just look at the stats. You got the return fire slow, headwinds, close range, and remember that with this kit, the close range, the headwinds, the slow, the return fire, it's like a perfect counter. It's like an off tank with like the perfect type of meta counter, because there's a lot of archery right now, especially because of new rule sets, right? There's like the close range rule set, there's the arrows out rule set, I think that's what it's called, the one where you can only use archers. Um, there might be others, but at least those are two new rule sets that are in the cycle, which mean that there's more and more situations where close range is actually really important. And then, unlike some of the other close rangers that exist, this one actually has tank type hit points. I mean, if this had, I mean, I think this might be a legendary in some settings, or at least an epic. But
I was going to ask you that. If all of these rares were legendaries, other than one or two, would you say any of them would be a dud? They're powerful.
That's a great question. Let's talk about that. So, imagining that these were legendaries, how does that change the conversation around? Well, the prices would have to be totally different. But you know, okay, so like $1.20 for $1.25 for a rare. What's the okay, so I want to imagine I want to understand the math of this first before we carry forward. So you'd be talking about a max copy is $140. To me, that's so cheap for this card. Okay, I don't think I can do the price. I wanted to kind of look at the price, but I think we just kind of need to focus on the quality of the card. I think Queen of Crows to me is like is legendary capable, and I don't think I would bat an eye. It might not be if it were legendary. Like it's 9 mana too. It's not even 10 mana. I mean, this feels like it should.
Killer doesn't hit it.
Yeah, it feels like. Yeah, it feels like it is a legendary card to me. What about you guys? Like, are there ones here that you let me ask the question to you. Is there one card here, if it was like legendary status, that would be a no? Or even that's a no here at rare status, if that's possible.
I know people hate on the Shaman because of the recharge. That's probably the weakest card on the list.
Yeah.
Dude,
but I think in certain situations and going forward, that recharge is not going to be that much of a hindrance.
Mm-hmm. And Jim, you're saying?
I honestly really like the Shaman.
Mm-hmm.
When you can put him to 3 or even 4 damage, and then the recharge is hitting like a truck.
Yep.
Dude, it's hitting so dang hard. And then it's like, if they don't have Void Armor or even Void, like they're just no monster's living that attack if you're hitting for 12 damage.
Yeah. And
it's not happening.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the recharge and the giant killer are not restricted or limited by a force field. Is that true?
I believe it's applied after.
Yeah. So even if you would, let's say, and look, he's only got 3 damage, but even if you had like, no, I guess he's only got 3 damage at the highest level. So even if you brought a magic +1, you're not even force field stopped. So like, I mean, this is it sucks that it only recharges a real. It's probably one of the, it's not strong. We don't love recharge, but this card, yeah, man, like it's a good little kit, and it's like an artillery cannon back there. If it gets its shots off, it's deleting things, and I also like it in those rule sets where where everything's back to basics, because then it's one more strong magic monster with a good number of hit points for a relatively decent mana in a higher mana match, the green, and you get obsidian, of course, with green. So, but yeah, I hear you guys. I actually like it. I own it, but it's not a Queen of Crows. Runic Skyclaw to me is amazing. Corsair Boson is exceptional. Jim, you mentioned the stuns, so many good stunners, and there's been a little bit of especially in the modern league, there isn't necessarily a lot of them, like apart from these.
Yeah.
So are there ones here? Each of you tell me one or two that like feel particularly strong for you, and even if it was quote unquote legendary, or you know what I mean, and the price point that would probably carry with that. What are you thinking? Is it only Queen of Crows?
I like all of them, and I will give everybody a huge hint, a huge spoiler for my free-to-play account. I have an account where I just bought my $10 spellbook, haven't put any other funds in the game. The two things that have helped my win rate more than anything are the Soulbound Summoners and any common or rare Riftwatcher card, because the bots don't have access to these.
Cool.
Since I got Queen of Crows, Bosan, Tinderlock, Watercolor, I win at least probably 2/3 of my games.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, just one BCX. So if you guys have a free-to-play account, don't want to put a lot of money into this game, just get one BCX of the commons, commons and rares of Roof Watchers, and you're going to do very, very well.
Mm.
And I do have to jump out of here, guys. Thanks for having me on the chat. I have to head off to work in a few minutes, and
Hey, pal.
hope I can talk with you again in the future soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for making it work.
All right, take care.
Later.
See ya.
Jimbo, any thoughts on these cards? Like, what if they were legendary? Would it be like a resounding yes across the board, or are there a few that would be probably maybe they're not going to qualify at that level?
I think I could see some of the. So if you look at Watercaller,
Yeah.
you know, the stats at maxed out, it's not like amazing, especially when you look at the abilities. It only is adding Reflection Shield.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I would tend to think that the legendaries would get a little bit more abilities.
Yeah.
So like the Queen of Crows going to 4, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Um,
I can see your point. This is a strong rare card though. This is like a modern day. This is like a modern day. Is it called the Medusa? There's a
Siren.
It's on the green. It's on the blue team, and it's like an old beta. Actually, I'll just.
Then yeah, it would be Medusa.
And we go
'Cause she has
magic.
stun.
Yeah, Medusa stun. This was one of the first stunners, really, ever, to be honest. And decent amount of hit points for the mana cost. Strong damage output for the mana cost. Stun is a strong helper, and Watercolor feels a lot like that. It's got one more hit point. It's got one more mana cost. It's got one more hit point. It's got the same maximum damage output. The Reflection Shield is like a modern day significant buff, especially since there's so much magic reflection nowadays. So I think this is a strong card, very strong even for rare, but I think I agree. I think it's probably still a rare, but if it was an epic and it had like a slight buff of some nature, I think you wouldn't bat an eye. Maybe one more damage output, and then maybe it's an epic. But yeah, probably not legendary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the other stunners as well. The who's that guy? The ranged.
This guy's a
5-drop.
This guy's a bit questionable for me. The triage is huge though with the green, and he does have a lot of hit points.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like we talked about yesterday, having archery just when you find your way to the first position, well, you usually can't shoot, but they've got Fernheart, so maybe.
Yeah. With Fernheart, I really don't mind it.
Runeslinger I like a lot. Stun, affliction, cripple, 3 damage output, 8 hit points.
Too.
Yeah, good stats and good abilities, and 5 mana plus partners with Sloan.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that card. Now, again, I don't think I probably wouldn't say legendary, but again, I could easily see epic.
Mm-hmm.
These two I think are necessary. Runic Skyclaw to me is just this speed alone is just so amazing, and speed is so important right now, and Giant Killer is awesome, and it's one of those abilities that only gets better as more and more monsters get 10 mana or more.
The Runic Skyclaw, I always say, looks like a steampunk Charizard.
Good one. Yeah, I see it. And this one too is a must-have.
Mm-hmm.
Would I call it a legendary? No, I wouldn't. But it is very strong, man, and it partners so well with Grandmaster Wraith, the summoner that turns your armor into magic reflection armor, void armor. Not magic void armor.
I could actually see this card being legendary at max level, dude. Like the stats are really good, the abilities you get are also really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like that 6 speed is fast, and it's flying.
Six damage output. 6 damage output. 3 speed.
Sorry, no. I was talking about Runic Skyclaw.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. 6 speed is bananas. And 5 damage, dude. Plus the armor, plus the hit. Like it's a strong, resilient monster. And if you can even hit it, dude.
Yeah.
It's flying and 6 speed.
Yeah, that thing's quick.
Yeah. So I guess in short, I really think I've heard people say Rift Watchers is not good, and I'm like, what are you talking about right now? It's really good. maybe the summoners are, some of them are a bit whatever, but like I bought my Max Dallin. I think Dallin's good. I think it's really silly that he's this cheap. Aquatis,
Dallin was definitely slept on.
Yeah. Aquatis I don't love, but I think he gets stronger if there are other speed or swiftness or blinds or whatever that come on the blue team. And for that price, I'm buying. I did the other day. I maxed it out, I think. Skargor I like a lot. Thispa is very questionable, maybe, but Dragon, like you gotta love the Dragon, and he's relative. She is what under maybe $100, and I'm not sure you can get Dragons at a max level for under $100. Even Quix is maybe Quix is about Quix is about $200. Gilthane still the price is just like a fixture around that $6 price point. People love that. The speed, of course, plus there has been a lot of extra archery, like I was saying earlier, with that close range on the Queen of Crows. So, anyways, I really like this one. I didn't really see a price. I mean, these prices are a bit lower. The Oscu was saying that the prices have gone down. These were like $1.40, $1.30. These were like maybe $1.50. So I'm seeing some price reduction there. These might have been closer to $2. Let me go look at my cards and go.
Real quick,
Yeah.
Hugh just said that he invited you to the guild in
Thanks, pal.
Golem Overlord.
Thanks, pal. I'll definitely, yes. Okay, so my reward cards. Circling to that question, like more pointedly, Oscar was saying like the price of cards has gone down. I mean, maybe some of them. I can tell you my rewards are at 15,500, and my reward cards were as low as I want to say 6 a few months ago. And okay, so then let's look at Rift Watchers, because I did notice some Rift Watcher price differentials there, or lowers. I do think my Rift Watcher assets have gone down. I can't remember where I last saw them, but they're only at 2,000 right now. And I think I might have been closer to, was I at 3? I don't remember. But it does strike me that probably the Rift Watchers have what's going on over it. Let's go to Splinter Cards and see what the price pack. Yeah, look at this. Rift Watcher cards are worth $4.15 per pack on average. And the other day that was at $4.44. So I don't know but then Chaos Legion's at $197 too, and that was at $2.15 or something like that. So I guess Chaos Legion and Rift Watchers are down a bit. The rewards have not gone down, and I don't know about my alphas or betas. So I mean, these are modern cards. There's lots of them. There's still 3 million packs of Chaos Legion that are, I think, that are in someone's possession and haven't been owned. That's supply that can come online at any time. And yes, I stand by the fact that they will eventually be consolidated, and that amounts to a reduction in supply, which will drive prices higher, as long as the game is fun and has a future. And I think the same is true with Rift Watchers. There's 2 million packs unsold. And then whoever, of the million that were sold, I don't know how many were opened, but there's some amount that are in people's possessions probably. And that's like an opportunity to dilute or to add to the supply amount. So not surprising if the price differentials from the card market are toward those newer cards. That makes a lot of sense. But man, the next question is, okay, like where are the bargains at? Because there might be some really juicy little. Let me see. Well, like I said, those summoners, I'm into it, man. $14 for a gold foil. How many do you need? You need 10 of these. So you're talking $140 for a max gold foil summoner. $150 to get a better one, in my opinion. Oof. Look at the high bids. You can come in here and get $12 maybe, like gold foil Skargors, and then relist for 16. When that happens, it's fun to come in. I'm not going to do it right now because somebody, one of you guys will come in and do 1201. But this is always fun to notice. If you see like $12 can make me the high bidder, and 17 is the low buy price, it's sometimes an easy flip. If you can get somebody to sell you one for 12 and sell it and relist it immediately for 16, you're making a 30% profit, and you will be the low buy. You'll be the cheapest single card on the market. So though that's one of the easiest ways to flip a card, when there's a distinction between those two. Anything to say on card prices there, Jimbo?
I haven't been looking too much into card prices, but I know, man, honestly, a lot of stuff seems pretty doable price range.
Yeah.
And I was also looking at beta stuff last night, because I don't know when they're going to change the brawl battles to where they might not make it to where you need alpha beta only combat. And but if there's even still one where it's like alpha beta, and
Yeah.
there's just so many good cards out there that are really cheap in the beta section.
Yeah.
And last night I was talking about it on stream for Splinterlands TV, and someone came in and wiped the market of Lord of Darkness and flipped it.
Like, you mean they bought everything that was on there and then relisted?
They bought them all and relisted it.
Dude, I've done that before with Angel of Light. Back in the day, there was like 5 or 10 that were listed, and they were all what I thought was cheap at the time. And I bought everything. And I just and I was like, you know what? This card's so good. If I have to sit on it, I don't care. I'll sit on it. And I bought them all and relisted at double value. And I was like, look, this card's great. I'm happy to hold it, but I'm also happy to control supply and then expect that, because I know it's good. When you see it's good, you'll pay me a reasonable price, which I was asking a reasonable price. And it looks like Buddy, if these are his prices, like I'd say $55 for literally one of the best tanks in the game is, especially since it's rarity and whatnot. Again, there's only 10 available. Like, this to me makes a lot of sense. If you believe in the future of a game and you love it, and you even are willing to hold the assets, and by the way, look, it's what? Here's one max copy, and then there's 3 1 copies, and there's 1 2 BCX copy. So it's really 1 2 3 4 5. Oh, there's 6 over here. Okay, it's maybe 15 actual 6 9. No, it's 10 distinct cards. And so I'm sure there are people out there that could buy essentially, what is it? It's like maybe $1,000 worth of in my opinion, one of the best death tanks in the game, and just sit on it, knowing 1, I love it. 2, I can use it. 3, land is going to give distinct value to, alpha betas, these older cards. And 4, people are going to come to me one day. Like, there's not enough of these cards. They're going to come to me. I like that approach. Well done, whoever did that.
It was Halazar.
Was it?
Yeah, he did it.
Nice. I saw Rick's out there. Good to see you, buddy. I saw, he goes, glad to be here on live chat. Appreciate the passion in the room currently. Thanks for being here, everybody. Yeah, man. Thank you. And I appreciate the passion from you, dude. Weird Beard dropped a bit of the spice in the recent town hall, and I was talking with my members yesterday. Like, there was some frustration, which I thought was totally deserved and appropriate, at somebody dropping a comment about, like, just simplifying the bot conversation. And it's like, to me, I've had that battle so many times. It's like there aren't simple answers to complicated solutions. And when we pretend that there are, and we point fingers at others saying, you're not solving this easy thing, which can sometimes be the feedback. It's like, it's so non-constructive. It's so non-productive that it ends up being like deeply frustrating. And I heard the passion in your response, and yeah, I was like, I'm glad, because the team, I mean, like Agro says, like almost every week too, he's like, look, every question is acceptable, not every form of question is appropriate. And it's like, are we children? Do we have to like complain at one end? Do you know what I mean? Like, are we reasonable adults who want to talk about complicated economic, because these are deep waters, like economic waters. This looks like a video game, it looks like a card game. Yes, it is. but it's so much more. And there's a thoughtfulness and a maturity that's required to really engage in that conversation. So well done, my dude.
Dwayne, it's just so simple though. You hit the button that says ban all bots and boom.
Yeah. That's
It's
what they
it's
think.
that easy. I really don't know why Weirdbeard doesn't just do it already. Makes zero sense. All right, I'll stop trolling.
Yeah. Hey, we're good to see you here. Watercolor is so good, says Osq. One big investor is selling off his cars. That's why they're dipping. Yeah, interesting. There's a buddy from TNA who recently had, I think he had $4,000, $5,000 worth of investment in Splinterlands, and for a variety of reasons, he said, no, I'm done. And he and I talked before he did it, and I was like, I mean, I think you're wrong. I think you're going to regret it, but I get it. Like, you want to do that, and the beauty is that you can. And he listed everything, and within 5 days sold everything. I think it was about $4,000. And my point in bringing it up is because it speaks to the actual opportunity to liquidate assets in Splinterlands. And as Osq is pointing out too, some big investor is selling his cards off. That creates ripples and has implications for us over a short period of time. But as those people surrender their assets, there's others that'll buy up the entire market of Lord of Darkness and sit on that, knowing what they hold is worth it. And to me, that's not only encouraged that they would be able to liquidate in that way. It's so cool. It's actually the secret sauce to why Splinterlands is amazing. Why NFT blockchain, like where you own the assets, where you're rewarded for your time and attention, why that's special. Because it's not just that you own them. I mean, I can own a JPEG on my computer, but it means nothing because there's no economy to it. There's no opportunity to extract value after investing time and attention to acquire the resource or the token or the card. But here in Splinterlands, there is an out. And I've seen it I sold my kitty for, I just did my taxes and I had to claim that kitty on the taxes. I forget what it was. I did a video. I think it was 3,200. I went back and watched my original video on this. 3,200 US for my kitty, and then 5% market fee. So I think I claimed like just over $3,000 US. And that paid for my Splinterfest. And then recently I sold another card, which will be on my next year's taxes. I sold the one you got gold foiled of, Jim. Summoner
Lux.
I sold my last Lux because it was like $1,200. I think I sold it for $1,150 or something like that. And I just, as much as I love that card, I don't need it. And that's a lot of money, man. I think I paid $250 for that or whatever, or $300 after you consider the bonus from Splinterlands or Splinterfest.
After everything.
Yeah. I wanted to, there was something more I wanted to talk about there. Cards, prices. Slipped my mind now. No, I can't remember right now. That's okay. Jim, what are you doing today?
Well, today I will be. I'm not live. I guess I am live streaming. It's a Twitter space.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I'm
cool.
going to be talking with some people that went to a gaming convention over the last couple days. It's called Gamma, and they actually got to mess around with the new cards for Disney Lorcana.
Cool.
So we're going to be talking with them.
Cool. On Hobbies and Happiness.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Cool.
yep.
That's what it's called, right? I just want to make sure I'm shouting it out properly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Hobbies and Happiness, yep.
Check it out, guys, if you're into tabletop gaming. I remember what I wanted to mention, and it has to do with analyzing what cards are winning. Some of the chat, like Oscu mentioned watercolor, and earlier Gathering was talking about certain cards, the Riftwatcher cards that will help him win within that free account, just one BCX. I wanted to talk for a moment about a new sponsor that's coming to the channel. They're actually going to be, they've created and are creating a new, I'm not going to give it all right now, but I'm just going to, this is almost like a teaser that there is a tool that's going to be able to track my, not just data around how often a card wins, which there's some great stuff out there. It'll say what is the best build, but actually that can can mine for data on Dwayne, on like Infidel 1258 in a way that like creates like a resume, a record, and allows me to deep dive into not just like how often I win and lose, nor how many, not just how many games I play, but also even how often every card I play wins, and who does it partner with, and when does it win, and what rule sets, and what mana, and all of that distinction to me is so fun because one, it reminds me of being a kid and why I love card games. I used to like collect Marvel cards, collectible cards, and I would read about like, you know, the Incredible Hulk's strength and like how many tons can he lift, and you know, Spider-Man, how many tons can he lift, and how fast, and you know, etc., etc. And I would spend hours and hours and hours. And then later as a young man, I would watch hockey and I'd study statistics as if my life depended on it. I can like to this day, you know, talk to you about how many goals like Brett Hull scored, or how many, you know, Trevor Linden or Cliff Ronning, or like, you know, just so much data. And to me, that was really joyful. And now I'm going to be able to extract that from my own history within Splinterlands. And it's not even exactly a tool that will help you win, but it might be. It might be, because if you start to recognize, hey, I think I win a lot with my death team. I want to see the data on that. I think my Lord of Darkness, I told you a moment ago, I think it's one of the best tanks on the black team. I want to see the data on that. And I don't mean all the data across all the, because there's great sites for that. I want to see Dwayne Cunningham and how I'm using it, my records, and then I want to be able to brag that I'm doing it better than you or not as good as you, and learn from you. It's an exciting new partnership that's going to come to the channel pretty soon. And I think we're starting on May 1st, and that's all I'll say about that for today. But yeah, it's Splinterlands based, and it's a fun tool that I think is going to be entertaining, and also like probably useful in the sense of like actually opening your eyes to new ways of playing. And yeah, just I won't say anything more about it yet, because I want to get clear on how we're going to launch that. But yeah, that's coming. Ikey, have you seen Hawks 21's new tool? I did actually. I watched Hawks most days too. I like his stuff, and it looks cool. Like what was the main function? Have you seen that, Jim?
No, I have no idea what it is.
I've seen 2 videos on it. It helped him find prices like on that. It helped him find the price on that Alamo Cambio he bought.
Wow.
Yeah, like he essentially, it helped him. Oh, that's what it, right. I'm remembering now. Took me a minute there. His new tool essentially tracks like blanket data about like from all of, you know, like I think from what I know, and I don't think he got into this, but I think it scrapes the blockchain to see like how good is the Alamo Cambio for what it is. And then it can give you like a score out of 10 on what that card is. And then that can help inform, you know, your purchases and your acquisitions, and you know, how am I going to shore up my team? Well, this one card might really help. And by the way, it's only currently $200 for a max Alamo versus you know, your other option is maybe $400. So that's smart. I like that. That's different. What I'm talking about is going to track what I do. It's going to be my own personal record, and in a way that isn't here right now. Like, yeah, you can see your last 20 matches. Yeah, you can go into, you know, other sites and see, like look at some of your battles. You can even use like I like Summoner Lab, and you can see some of the data there. But there isn't an exclusive record for Infidel 1258, and I think it's an anonymized data that is generally available and scraped. I'm talking about personalized data, and I think that's a big difference. And it's going to be that part where I can then hold up something like seeing how I'm doing, and there'll be, you know, potentially leaderboards in the near future. So I think it's going to be different and cool. But yeah, Hawks thing is awesome too. Hawks is partnering with Brave Tofu on that one. That's cool. Love it. Really love it. This is, you know, what that all makes me think about now is like almost a continuation of what we talked about with Golem Answer. This space has an opportunity, and we're seeing that opportunity be realized, where different voices are stepping up and like, hey, I could do this thing. I could program that thing. I could, you know, create a new game. And the amount of tools, and this has been Splinterland's aim like for a long time at least. And it's really awesome that they invite that and that they open the door to that. Like even looking almost with it's an informal partnership with Peak Monsters to have them, you know, drive certain innovation on market, you know, the marketplace. Splinterlands has never tried to be the main market. They've let third-party creators do that. And the same is true with the tool I described, and you know, the tool that Hawks is trying to create, and etc. It's like, or even the games we talked about. There's so much innovation within this group of people, because this is blockchain is an opportunity to access like a free market. There's someone with an idea and there's and an interest, and then there's someone who can be driven to get involved and invest in that idea, and then out of that, new opportunity can happen for that investor, and then simultaneously growth for the idea creator, and it's like a whole new economy and space that's opening doors and creating cool. It's not done. It's not even started. It's just getting going. It's really, really exciting. Here's oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, last night when we were talking about, you know, all these games that are coming out, and I was like, you know, me and Dwayne talked about during like Splinterfest and like around that time frame. It was like, man, we could easily make our own game.
Yeah.
But I guess I shouldn't say easily. I know it takes a lot of stuff to do it, and we don't even know a game developer.
No.
So hint, hint, wink, wink. Anyone out there, just sliding that out there into the abyss, you know?
Yeah. See, that's the thing. It's like, you're right. You're 100% right. We've talked about ideas, and it seems like they would be plug and playable within the kind of development software development kit. That was the phrase that Splinterlands is talking about, you know, essentially offering. And I think they kind of already are with GLG. So yeah, I think there will come a day where people who have the creativity is easily done. But the problem is the opportunity exists while friction is in the way, while hurdles are up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like, if you know, how easy is it to make a website today? Sell your product today. Like you could make your own t-shirt today within an hour, have your own t-shirt site, and it's easy, but then there's so much white noise of competitors. Whereas when it was difficult to make a website of that nature, you might have been able to corner a market. And I think games like Splinterlands have their foot in the door already. And same with maybe Golem Answer is in that conversation. Maybe, you know, Tower Defense is in that conversation, hopefully, right? And who knows, maybe one day we will be too, pal. But
I mean, I also think, you know, we have our foot in the door in terms of a community behind us. So like, if we did do it, it would be, you know, how many people out there would know about it? Like, everyone who's already in this space.
Yeah, that'd be
for Splinterlands and whatnot.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, the oh, you know what, Monsieur Caruso, he goes, can you say with whom you are partnering for that tool? I don't know if he would want to. I didn't tell him that I was going to share. There's a company, there's a tool, there's a designer, there's a marketer, and I don't know who I would rep there, so I'm just going to leave that alone for now.
Yeah, and it's probably too early.
Yeah, it's all like, we're talking May, so like 4 days away. I will be producing content, showing you what I'm seeing and how I'm having fun with it. And Jim, I'd love to have you come on sometimes and like see it with me, because like I said earlier about those Marvel cards, I remember sitting around my bedroom with my cousin, who was like my brother, and we lived together as a kid. He had some trouble, so he would come stay with us for months at a time. And I remember just like holding the cards and being like talking, like he'd be like, "Oh, this guy's stronger." Like I would pick him to, it's almost like Pokemon. Like he would pick like his representative from a
Yeah.
deck of cards, and then I'd be like, "No, this guy would totally waste him, and here's why." Like 7 speed versus 5, like no way, we'd get you, or whatever. And so I
Yeah.
think it'll be a fun conversation. We'll more to come very soon, Monster.
I have a cousin exactly like that, who's
Yeah.
pretty much a brother,
Yeah. Did you guys?
who would stay with me at months at a time,
Yeah.
and you know exactly who it is.
How's he
Yeah, it's
doing, by the
Rabbit.
way?
He's doing pretty good.
Rabbit,
It's been
right?
a little bit since I talked to him,
Yep.
and but I know he's 4 kids,
Yeah.
work, life,
Yeah.
maintaining a house.
Yeah.
It's it's a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I talked to him a couple months ago about the kids and just was praying for him and stuff like that. But yeah, that's great. Rabbit's a great guy. He was one of my for those who are listening and don't know, he's a Splinterlands player and a guy who was like a scholar of mine when I was doing scholars, and great guy too. And Jim's cousin.
Yep.
Guys, I've got about a half an hour, so I'm happy to get into any conversations that you want to have, but I'm going to take a peek at the comments from my recent, from my channel. And if anyone's hearing this and you don't know this, I check the comment section regularly, even daily, because I'm always looking for what topics are you interested in, because I want to create content that's going to help our community understand even tense problems where there's criticism. Actually, I saw one in the chat. Oscu was kind of poking about the price on the promo card. And I haven't had a chat with Oscu directly, but I have talked about it. I mean, we talked about it yesterday too. I feel that that promo card is priced exactly how it should be because it's being sold by a company that feels that they can get that value for the card. And if they're wrong, they will sell fewer units. And if that happens, the buyers of the units that sell are going to be super happy. So to me, it makes a lot of sense to price it where they priced it. And it's a legendary. Plus, we've had recently inexpensive cards. That's the sort of conversation that only happens right there. I kind of push back on. He's a friend of mine. Oscu knows this game. We talk a lot. But I because of a comment, I can create a little soundbite where I'm like engaging, hopefully, with you guys too, because you might feel, no way, it's crazy that it shouldn't be $80, and I don't care if there's a discount with vouchers, and I don't care if there's a discount because of DEC. You might feel passionately against what I just said. But that is so important because when people disagree, that's a place for conversation. That's a place for meaningful conversation. And so I go into the comment section and I look for things, what you guys are interested in. And when I create a video that comes out of an idea that you've sparked, I will give you a raffle ticket for a free plot of land. So if you're new to the channel, we do that. And yeah, if you're new to the channel right now, guys, I don't know how we're doing, but if you haven't dropped a like, do me a favor, drop the like. If you haven't subscribed and you enjoy Splinterlands content, get on board, guys. It's yeah. I'll check back on the chat in a few minutes in case you guys want to push on that issue of the price from the promo card. But I think Zyriel is priced accurately, and I'd say change my mind.
Yeah, when people are right when you were just saying about the I don't care if it's discounted with the vouchers or whatever other means, it's like, no, you should care because that's the actual price that you can get the card for. Right? It's not the maximum what can you get the card for, it's what can you actually get the card for. And it's around like $55, I believe, per BCX. And then if you go ahead and like cut that in two because you utilize it for 2 different colors, sure, it's 1 card, but you cut it in 2, you're looking at a very appropriate price point. So
yeah, for a promo legendary, because Dr. Blight's selling at like I think 35 and 40, and then on the marketplace, O'Shere's around 35 or something. So again, this one's available on 2, but you might argue, someone might then push back and say, well, Dr. Blight's neutral. O'Shere's Dragon, okay, but again, there's also the collectability side point, and there's the collectability of it being the first card of that kind. That some people are going to care about that. Maybe the listener to this comment doesn't care about that, but some people are going to say, I have to have it because it's the first ever in Splinterlands to have that sort of experience of life and death. and that even that the lore is cool, that the art is cool, that drives some people. And lastly, just got to circle back. If the price is wrong, like some people are alluding to, then they won't sell. And if they don't sell, that'll be an awesome thing for the few that buy from a supply demand perspective. So for all those reasons, man, it is the right price.
You know, I remember about a year ago when they brought up multicolors. This actually could have been longer than a year ago. They brought up multicolored cards in a town hall, and they said that they weren't going to do it, or they didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And you know, me coming from Magic, I'm like, there's no way they're not going to do this. It's literally impossible for you not to do this. And you know, fast forward to now, and we finally get to see the double colored cards. I'm like, I knew it. It was just a matter of time, but I knew it.
Yeah, definitely. It's fun, man. It's a whole new angle, and yeah, it's fun, guys. I haven't mentioned it yet, but I mentioned it in a comment, and I saw it on my when I pulled up the comment section. I got a new camera, and I don't know if you guys even noticed, but like, man, I can notice it's like such a gigantic difference. The coloring is darker, and I would say richer. I don't know if you think it looks good, but let me know, because I spent a lot of money on it, and it's not too late to return it. So, but I see Ian's.
Has it done the face tracking setup yet?
It does, but hang on a second. I have to like I set it to like be here. There's a way that I do that. Let me show you. Shrunk my screen for a second. Bear with me. Got to go like this, and then I got to go down over here and go over here. Oh no, I can't, because it's okay. Yeah, I got to set it up before I go live. But yes, it has facial tracking, and I also can do hand gestures, like so that it like zooms out, zooms in, or tracks me or doesn't track me. I haven't set all that up yet, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Yesterday, Jim and I were playing some Overwatch and just hanging out. Oh, Jim, we got to talk about the Blizzard leak.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that. Holy cow!
But first, we were hanging out just playing Overwatch, and I was showing him how the new camera like tracks. It doesn't right now, like I said, but if I lean over this way or that way, the camera will just like, it's on I forget what they're called, but it like will track me, which is cool. But yeah, man, we're playing Overwatch yesterday, and Jim he showed me this picture. Look at this. Tell me, I wonder if Rick's still out there. Tell me this is not the Chaos Legion logo. And we're like, that's got to be that's the new partnership. We know it now.
I mean, it's not exactly the logo, but it's close enough.
Stop your kowtowing to the man, Jimbo. This is Illuminati stuff. We're seeing the writing on the wall.
If you right click on it and new, what is it?
Open a new
tab, and then like you could really zoom in on it.
No,
on the tab.
No, it's maximum. Oh, maybe if I go shift, control. There we go. Look at this puppy. That's Chaos Legion right there, guys. So yeah. I think he's supposed to be probably. This is an Overwatch player, and I think he's supposed to be a Galvatron copy. Like Galvatron is an old, I think, based on this crown, Galvatron is he's the leader of, or one of the leaders of the Decepticons. I suspect that's what they're copying with the purple and the black. Those are also the thematic colors of that character. However, that is fully a Chaos Legion, almost a fully perfect Chaos Legion logo. So yesterday on Twitter, Jim and I were hanging out, and he showed me that. I just posted on Twitter, do you notice anything? Hashtag Chaos Legion, hashtag partnership, alpha, leaks, Splinterlands, Blizzard, Overwatch. And a few commenters were like, what? A few people got it immediately. I said, oh, oops, I gotta show some of those comments. Yeah, here we go. And this one was from Dehoda was my favorite.
Oh man.
Parks and Recreation, by the way, one of the best comedies.
Yeah. There's so many good lines from that.
Okay, let's see here. I'm checking the live chat with you guys, and then I'm gonna pop back to the comment section and see what's going on over there. Yeah.
Yeah, been AFK for a little bit.
Okay. Lucky Lukey, hello, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for popping by. Hope it's like a wiki page and you can add your view on your cards. That's a good suggestion. Ikey, talking about that app I talked about, or the site. Hope it's like a wiki page and you can add your view on a card. It's more like a data tracking for your performance, and that's personalized, because it's one thing to know, like Summoner Labs is a site I've talked about, and they don't partner me, but I like the site, and they will tell you data on like the win percentage of like the ant miners. But here's the question: is that a 77% win rate for you? You need to know how to use it to have that win rate. And so the app I'm referring to is going to tell you, it's going to unpack how you're using things by tracking you from the day you sign up to, whenever you choose not to. And it does require, like, there will be a fee, because you have to recognize that there's servers that are involved in tracking you and storing that data. But yeah, man, it's going to be fun. Okay, well, let's go read a comment. Let's see. Not hard to believe that land will be a good medium long-term play. Mitch goes about my photograph. Whoa, HD Splinter Dad in final form. I forgot who coined the term Splinter Dad, but they're no longer streaming or producing content. He was likely mainly
silver player.
Yeah. Who I thought he was trying to say manly at first. Who got up to diamond using only a super inexpensive life deck. Yeah, maybe. There's a lot of people who did that, hey, that are like kind of pushing during the last bull run. And I wonder, there was a lot of people that started and entered hard and bought, they moved in. They bought, in some cases, thousands of dollars worth of cards. And then they kind of went quiet and they stopped either creating content or they stopped playing the game even. And as I said back then, and I'll repeat right now, the way to earn through Splinterlands is through investing that time and attention over a long time horizon. And while people are sleeping on it, that's the time every day you play and you get those daily rewards, and that's going to translate, and they're going to be trivial in nature. Like even today, we're getting soulbound reward cards, which you can't even sell yet. But there's a promise that one day they'll be transferable. And so you have to like the process of earning and enjoy it and walk in it. And then you're going to accumulate these resources and assets that are trivial in nature. They might even have no value, like those soulbounds. But of course, man, when that thing's transferable, when those soulbounds are transferable, they're going to carry value. And so having that long vision, like looking at the long time horizon, that's where I think some people miss it. And even my friend who I've had many good conversations with. I told you he just exited the game, and I think he's missing that. I think he's not seeing. It's like, oh, I haven't become a millionaire yet. Was that ever on the table? No, but were you having fun for the last couple of years? Like, or were you just doing it was it a chore? Because if it's a chore, don't do it. But if it's fun, just enjoy the process and stop being. That's one thing you keep seeing, whether it's the content creators that maybe disappear or whether it's players that friends and you've had in the community or in the guild. And it's like, some people just drift away because they're not being satisfied by the returns that are available. Sometimes it's not always that. Sometimes they don't like they get sick of the game. That's okay. You get sick of the game, you should leave. But if you leave because you haven't been you haven't seen a multiplier yet, I think that's a bad move. We haven't even seen another bull run. Like it'd be like in my mind, an analogy is Bitcoin passes a bull market, enters a bear market, and you say, I'm going to sell now. Like I'm done. Like, did something change about either the program that you're enjoying the game in the case of Splinterlands or with the token like Bitcoin? Did something change, some fundamental consideration develop that changes why you would hold it or not? Because if not, then just keep holding.
Mm-hmm. And I think one thing that people have forgotten is that it's always been a 5-year plan after the airdrop, right? So
Hmm.
if you came in like right from the start, you're looking at 6 years out before there's no more SPS being produced,
Mm.
right? So then at that point, we'll have other ways of growing it throughout the year. Um, but after that 5-year time frame, that's really when you'll start to see, the SPS overall start to drop
Mm.
in supply. So if you're thinking that you're going to be a millionaire before that time frame, I just think it's wishful thinking
Mm.
and that you're wrong.
Yeah.
So I really don't think certain people are looking at it correctly and in these, for these time frames. So
Hmm.
that is me.
There's something that I'm reading the comments while I'm listening. I fully agree. Yeah, it's if you look at it from that 5-year perspective, but also, so it is an investment, and you're like, you want to think long term with the investment, but again, if you can put that whole part of it down and stop looking to the investment and to multiply, and truly just say, well, I'm enjoying the process. That is going to get you here daily. And that's going to, if there is a multiplier in the future, that's going to maximize your multiplier. So, but I see a comment. I saw 2 comments that got my attention while I'm reading my comment section. Kraken was talking about the anti-bot measure, and he says that he really, really doesn't. He would be a strong no. He doesn't want the anti-bot measure to pass. And I don't want to focus too much on that. But I did want to mention what we talked about yesterday on the members only live, which is that proposal kind of Matt commented, right? Matt commented and said in the proposal, like, what if we didn't? Oh, I better draw it up.
Don't make a new temporary game mode. Just throw it into modern format.
Yeah, that's important. So hang on, how do I find that? I go to Splex and then, or no, I go to Peak Monsters.
It's
Peak
also
Monsters.
on
Explore.
Oh yeah. Sorry, it's Peak Monsters.
Proposals. Okay, and then let's see. Did it go through? Go expired. Did it go? Is it already like a true proposal? I guess not. Looks
Did
like
it go through. Oh yeah, it was approved because you need 66% for it to be approved.
cool. So we're talking about the Splinterlands implementing anti-bot measures in the modern format. So I guess they did tweak it. So at first it was Splinterlands should try to implement anti-bot measures. And I was for that because I felt we should let them try. We should let people try. We should continue this conversation. People want to get rid of bots. A lot of people do. So let's talk about it. And I love that somebody put their money where their mouth was and put that post out, put this proposal forward. And so I kind of disagree with the commenter that I just read. Like he would say, I can't imagine saying no. Like, let's try, let's talk. But then also Matt read the proposal and dropped a comment. And this is why one thing I wanted to say, in case not everybody knew, he came in and commented and was like, what if we, instead of creating an entirely new play mode, because they were calling for essentially like 2 modes, like you could play with bots or you could play without bots. And I think there's questions about how that would even work, but let's skip that for now. And Matt goes like, well, what if we just said modern is, was modern bot anti-bot?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, modern is quote unquote anti-bot, or we'll have anti-bot measures according to the proposal. But
I
then,
was gonna say it's already in Splinterlands right now as well.
yeah,
It just went in.
boom, there you go. Like right now, this is so strong. Somebody with a million power right away said yes. I'm for it. Okay, well let's look at it. But it's the same thing. Okay, it's the same thing. Gotcha. I thought they might add something to it or whatever. Oh, but that's probably, it's got like new, it's been retitled. So I've added the small history. No, I don't want to read that. My point in bringing this up is that I wanted to highlight that Matt's suggestion to me makes a lot of sense, that it would be focused on the modern format only, because the move toward anti-bot is more of a modern movement. It wasn't in existence during the old part of the game. And so it even makes sense thematically, like you said yesterday, Jim, that the wild or the older would be kind of anything goes. and modern might be like subject to kind of testing, or right. That makes a lot of sense. And then I wanted to comment on Tails. Tails has a great comment here, and maybe let's spend the rest of our time here, 15 minutes. We'll read Tails' comment, and then we'll try to unpack or respond to it. And I'd like to hear your thoughts too, Jim.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's on the same topic, and he goes, because in my video, I said I'm for letting people try. But I don't really think it's going to work. That's what I said. So then what's Tails say? He goes, in life, it's easy to say no, never, impossible. Meanwhile, someone with great determination ultimately proves you wrong. Yep. The botting issue is not a simple yes-no problem with a simple solution. It is a complex issue that would require dedicated efforts to address. The team knows and understands the issues that predominant botting applies to the game. It is good to see traction being made on the asks and desires of the community to make changes and adjustments to try to get better state. A better state is a good keyword there, better state. Per Matt's most recent post on the pre-proposal discussed in the video, instead of creating entirely new mode, yeah, we just talked about that. What if we tried an anti-bot in modern only? Yep, we talked about that. It'd be much better and easier. Yeah, so I think I'm hearing in Tails just like push back on my, I guess, doubt. But I want to say, and I think I clearly articulated in the video, I'm skeptical that it's going to work, but I put my yes on it for a reason, because I actually am aiming at creating a better state. I'm in the process of that. I'm not kicking and screaming and saying, no, it's never going to work. Like, don't even try. I'm saying, I don't know that it's going to work. And I anticipate difficulty. But like he says, you don't want to just say no and like, it's not possible, therefore let's not even try. That never makes sense to me in life or in this game. And so I was hoping there was going to be actually some more criticism here. I really feel like I agree with what Tails is saying. Jim, do you have anything to say about what Tails said there, or?
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much is just saying kind of what we all should be thinking. There's no way to just turn off all the bots. It's literally impossible.
Yeah.
And you know, there might even be some times where people it wouldn't be banned, right? But they can just be removed from playing the modern format because, you know, they whatever the algorithm or whatever program it is they're using to even find these bots, or whatever they're putting forward, if it's like player review, which I hope it's not, because that can get super out of hand, and you know, with like a report system.
Yep.
You know, it's not an easy fix. This will take time. And but I'd rather start pushing that boulder up the hill than not even touching it at all.
Yep. This is I don't know what Aaron B is going to say, but it's something different, and it grabbed my attention, so I'm going to read it for the first time. He goes, Aaron B had a good idea the other day. I did a video, so I'm going to read his comment. He goes, the first time I unplugged my headphones from my laptop and watched one of your videos, my girlfriend walked by and she said, he's Canadian? And I said, how did you know? He doesn't really have an accent. And she said, a boot. I'd give her my raffle ticket for that one, but she doesn't play. That's funny. I never really think about things that I say that are Canadian, but a couple times Jim's called me on, I think you have anyways, about like A. Yeah, I do say A.
Yeah, a little bit. Not too many, because I understand, you know. There's some things I say being from Chicago that still people in Illinois definitely don't say.
Tell me, I have one in mind that you say, and but I want to know if there was one thing you say that you believe is like identifier for where you're from. Tell me what it is, and I'll tell you what mine was for you.
Oh man. So all right. So I'm specifically from Bridgeport, okay? The south side of Chicago.
Yeah.
And I don't think I even really say this around you.
Yeah.
But other people have pointed this out to me.
Okay.
And you know, some people will say the living room or the front room, the family room, whatever.
Yeah.
And in Bridgeport, they tend to say the front room,
Uh,
and it makes, you know, I don't even know how to spell it, to be honest with you.
That's not a word, Jim.
It's not even a word, Dwayne.
That's fun. You always say ma. You go, my ma. I'm gonna group up with my ma later.
Oh,
Yeah. That's my best Jim Morgan, by the way, guys. No, I can't. I'm gonna group up with my ma later. I'm the alpha gamer. No, it's good though. It's cool, man. It's like it's you, you know?
yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's got a slightly different vibe. So I was expecting a little bit of a spice from that comment from Tails. Love you, Tails, buddy. But no, I mean I agree with you, man. You're right. We gotta try. We gotta try. Even and if one piece of pushback maybe I can see is just if it sounded like in my video, my skepticism would prevent me from saying yes to this. I'll show you right now. It doesn't. I mean, I'm for it. Let's go. That's 100,000 SPS. That's, you know, I mean, I'm not going to turn the tides, but even though I'm skeptical, whoa, look at that, dude. In the time, right? The first million said yes, and then 6.5 jumped up and we're like, well, no way.
Oh man, coming from a guy who bots, get rid of the bots.
Yeah. Yeah. If we could go like, okay, hang on a second. I almost said something I would regret. Here's the complicated thing in last few minutes here, guys. If we could snap my fingers and get rid of bots, would I do it? Man, that's a complicated question. It's not yes or no. It's not like bots are entirely bad and they should all go. It's so much more complicated. And I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I think if you can't agree to that, if you can't agree, if you're hearing my voice and you're like, no, you're wrong, they're terrible and they've never done anything good, you're wrong, and you're not even hearing the nuance of my position, which is I'm not saying they're good. I'm voting yes to let's try and get rid of them. I'm just saying, you know, there's nuance to this, man. It's because it isn't snap at the fingers and they disappear. It's implement strategies and anti-bot measures that will have ramifications that are in some sense unintended. Unintended consequences will come of our efforts to create anti-bot measures. One that I could point to you would be the modern league will change. Now you might say it's going to change entirely for the better. I would argue, yeah, probably mostly for the better. But you cannot say that we know all the unintended consequences of that. Here's off the top of my head, just a couple suggestions. What if we do this? And then there's no substantive players in the modern league. And what if it takes 6 minutes, 10 minutes to get up in the middle of the night? You can't even find a battle match. I'm telling you, that sucks. I used to play Splinterlands when there was like 100, 200, 300, 1,000 people playing, and that would happen. It sucks. You want to play the game. You want to get your daily quest going. You want to enjoy the game. You like it, and you can't. Again, I'm not making that prediction that will happen. I'm saying, what if that happens?
It's a possibility.
Yeah. I'm cognizant that complicated problems have nuanced solutions, and that this is a famous quote from, I forget his name right now. He's an economist that I love. Thomas Sowell. Anyways, famous economist, and he says that there are no perfect solutions. There's only there's a choice in outcomes. Like I can't nail it for you, but it's like there's no perfect solutions. There's only imperfect alternatives or something like that. Because every angle you choose is going to have a ramification that you don't even want. Like public healthcare is great, but it has lots of unintended consequences. It means that rich people who could afford to theoretically get better care and maybe their daughter needs it, well, they can't get it. You're at the back of the line with everybody else. Or, you know, unions are great because they ensure great, you know, safe regulations and maybe fair living wages, etc. But they also translate to fewer people being employed, which means that there's higher unemployment. which means more families suffering, not less. There's so many complicated solutions that we often want to think black, white, bots bad, get rid of them, as if it's that simple. And that's why I approve of what we talked about earlier with that pushback. And that's why I always push back on this issue. And if you go look at my bot videos, it's always been, I mean, I think they're a problem, but I don't know that how we get rid of them. Yet here we go. Dwayne puts his money where his mouth is, and I'm like, I'm willing to support this effort. Yeah, man. I hope it works. I hope they prove me wrong. I hope people. You know what? A couple more minutes here, Jim. What's going on here for 6.5 million people? 6.5 million SPS to say no to this. Like, help me. What are your thoughts on why that is a no? On who's saying no? Help me understand that side of this. Who's saying no here?
You should refresh it real quick.
$7.5.
You know, I think it's partially the people that are botting, right? I think it's some people that would rather see, you know, them working on the roadmap and actually flushing the game out more rather than just start to get rid of bots in modern format. But the thing is, right, if you get rid of bots in the modern format, well, now people are also getting more SPS.
Yeah, if that's true,
there's less people.
That's true. The pool of SPS that exists in that league would be divided between fewer participants, which is true. That's interesting.
So, I mean, I really don't know what else other than A, they're botting, and B, they just want them to continue the game rather than focus on something else.
I think your first suggestion is probably true, and it's unfortunately cynical, right? Like we're essentially, you and I agree with you. Like there's a voice out there that's like, no, I don't want to deal with this. Like I want my bots to run the farms, and
yeah,
so they're going to say no. But I think the second solution is reasonable, actually, or a second suggestion you made. I'm sympathetic to that. The idea of like focus on the game. Don't be like, come on, you know what I mean? Land, get it out. So again, no perfect solutions, only like alternatives, right? Like it's, if we want to slow down and try something over here, well, it's going to have implications for the attention elsewhere. That's a great point. I see some feedback from the chat here. Great conversation. Garut, thanks. Great conversation as always, 12 and Jim. Appreciate you, man. Thanks. We need those anti-bot. He goes on. We need those anti-bot measures at whatever shape or form. I'm not sure I agree with that, but I think it is wise to explore it. Obviously, let's go on. Especially in tourneys and brawls. This to me strikes me as very important. I've never used a bot in a tournament or a brawl. I don't even know how to do that. I don't think you can with Xbot, which is the one I use. And I would gladly not use Xbot if, you know what I mean? Like if it became a thing where it was like a no, like somehow the team created a thing, I would love it, because it would mean my game is a human experience. I think we're a long way from there, but I think it's important, like Rick, a weird bit is pointed us to, it's important that we try to make that the tournaments and the brawls a pure experience. Ghostly says, I don't think the proposal will pass, unfortunately. And Dennis said, if the proposal does not pass, the game is over. Everyone will need to bot to be competitive. This is a thought that more than him share, including some of my very close friends who really love this game. Bots are getting better and better. It was never a problem in the past because bots were weak. I think he's to some extent right about this. And I heard someone say, and I had a video about this, like we're going to get to a place where Splinterlands is an automated DeFi experience. Automated, you don't have to do anything. DeFi, meaning there's economic opportunity. Or is this a game? And this is us right now. Right now, we are fighting to decide the future of that, I think. So I do put a lot of seriousness on this. I don't know if I would go so far as to carry what Dennis said about how the game would be over if this doesn't work. Any thoughts there, Jim?
Yeah, I don't think that it would be over, right? Because this is just the first proposal, I believe, that has been pushed forward.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, further down the line, they could even be throwing in suggestions as to what it is that they can even do to take those measures.
Yes.
And it could even be people are just getting more and more sick of the bots that are
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
And people's opinions can definitely change over
Yeah.
time. So I don't think that it necessarily means that it's just over.
Agreed. And didn't we just pass a proposal that failed recently? You know what I mean? Like, didn't we? Or am I wrong about this?
Yeah, what was it?
I'm well. My point, regardless, I'm just trying to echo what you just said, which is that people's minds change, new suggestions come forward. This is the beginning of a conversation. It doesn't have to be the end. It doesn't all hinge on this being ratified. I mean, frankly, this suggestion isn't even fully fleshed out. If you read it deeply, it's like a couple suggestions about, it's really a request that we take this seriously more than anything. So
Yep.
I think this conversation, the fact that it passed to get to this place, is indicative of people taking it seriously. And whether this passes or fails, I think is a beginning of a conversation, not an end. I see a lot of passion from you guys. I see Oscar commenting. He goes, I'd immediately stop using my XBot token if we had a bot free mode. I agree. I would love it if there was a place where I could only play people. I would love that. I hope it works. And then Doc Jockey, the game is not over. Love conquers all. Love conquers all.
This is actually how adamant I am for this to pass. I actually just sold my bot. I got rid of it.
Nice.
I don't want it.
Nice.
I don't need it anymore.
And the team may make a passive income that way. Is it okay to charge money to use bots like a subscription? Then the team can make money passively. I don't think they'll ever do that, State of Survival. No. They describe themselves as bot agnostic. They don't want to, of their own will, deter bot usage unless they want to deter bot advantage, exploit advantage. And you all hear that and might say they're doing a terrible job of that. Okay, but that's their hope and their intention. They are not desiring to end bots, ban bots, but they are willing to, as we saw with Matt's comment, and Agrid said this in town halls, they're willing to follow our request because this is a game that's led by its community and a governance model that is aiming at letting the players, the investors, drive the innovation, which is amazing, man. Okay, guys, I love the passion. I'm seeing a renewed, even though it's 2 hours already, you guys are getting excited about this conversation, but I am going to call it there. I've got other things to do. And Jimbo, I appreciate you, pal. Thanks, man. Let's see one last check in here. How are we doing? We are 9 million no's, still 35%, 16 million yeses. We are skirting that 66%. This is
66.7, right?
This is fun, man. This is fun. Keep your eyes on this, guys. We got 7 days, of course. But yeah, this is interesting. And even though it's not, in my mind, the end of the game, if it doesn't work, this is important, and I'm excited to watch what happens with this one. Also, I love that this was a community proposal. So again, more proof that decentralized governance is actually working in front of us right now. Love it. Jim, do you want to say anything before we head out of here?
I just want to say thanks for having me, man. It's always great, and I can't wait to do this again.
Yeah, me too. Okay, guys, I'm out of here for the next few days. I'm back on Sunday, late Sunday. I'm going away for a men's retreat Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I won't have connectivity. I won't be able to check comments, I don't think. Maybe a little, I don't know. So I'm going to queue up some videos for while I'm away. But Jim, thank you so much. And guys, if you want more content over this weekend and you go through what I've already got, check out the members page. There's other stuff in there too. Bye for now. Have an amazing day. God bless.